So we have a, conservative Christian YouTuber by the name of Pearl. She's got over 2 million subscribers, very large channel. And I've begun noticing, what she's doing, and I appreciate what she's doing. And from her own, mouth, she's stated that she is a non-practicing Catholic. Um, and what she's been doing is she's been going to local churches before the church starts, standing out in front of the church with signs saying very provocative things that are actually indeed biblical, and trying to get a response from certain people that attend that church. And it's interesting at the responses. And what we're seeing is just exactly how many, number one, how many lost churches there actually are. And when I say a lost church, I'm speaking about a church that is not truly biblical. That's the Holy Spirit does not reside in that church. And that's most churches. Okay. Most churches are led by lost men. Okay. And the basis of that foundation of that church is generally a group of lost people attending there. So it's just religious sanctioned attendance. Okay. And these are the type of responses you're going to get from people that are not truly Christian. And what you tend to see is that most men out here are just absolutely beta. Okay. And even the lost women are starting to see, and it disgusts them, that there are so many men out here, that are supposed to be standing for something that's rooted in, uh, thousands of years of history. And they have no gall to stand on the very truth that is found in the Bible that they possess, as their foundation of truth. And these women are getting sick of these type of men, these cowardly men. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at a short excerpt from one of her latest videos. The title of her video is "Do Dallas Christian Women Obey Their Husbands?" And so she's standing outside with a sign, that basically says, "Should wives obey their husbands?" And people will walk up to her and give their response. So I'm going to go ahead and play a short excerpt and then kind of give my take after that. The link to her video will be in the description of my video.
The purpose of today is to see if the answers are any different out in just the general public as they are in the different churches I visited. So make sure you like the video on your way in, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.
Well, so this is the question?
Yeah. Do you think Christian women should obey their husbands? If yes, tell us why. If no, tell us why or why not. No right or wrong answers.
I don't even know where to begin with it. I don't know. Yeah, I think everyone should obey their husbands regardless of religion, I guess. I'm a Christian myself, but yeah. What's the topic for, I guess?
What type of Christian are you?
Lutheran.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's just, I find that in different churches, they have different answers to this question.
Yeah.
So it's really just investigative to see what people believe and
I
why.
wouldn't say obey, but just, do good, and good comes back for both spouses, I guess. So.
Yeah. Well, one person has to make the final decision, though, right?
Yeah, fair. The women's always wear the pants, so.
Okay. So you think the men should obey the women?
Yeah, so I had to stop it there. I just can't stand beta men. I just cannot stand effeminate men. And you heard his closing statement, basically alluding to the fact that he's terrified of his wife. You know what's interesting is men like this, they think that by being afraid of their wife or making their wife feel as though they're the boss, or they're the head, and I'm subservient to them, and I'm going to bow to them, and they think that that's going to somehow give them favor with their wife. Okay. And you know what actually happens? The wife ends up despising them. Okay. Just like a child that despises a parent they don't respect. This is exactly what happened. Okay. I've worked with men like this. Okay. These men end up getting cheated on, abused within their marriage, disrespected publicly. This is no joke. Okay. To be a coward within your marriage has devastating effects on your family. Okay. Now let's answer the questions. Should women obey their husbands? And now here's the problem with this question. And this is why it's so edgy. The word obey. She didn't say submit. She said obey. And she said that because she used the word obey because she knew it would catch people more than submit. Right. And so women tend to look at the word obey and they say, well, I'm not your dog. I'm not your slave. Okay. But you know what's funny? These same women will go to their work, their 9 to 5, and they'll obey their boss. Okay. So let me go ahead and answer the question. Let a man answer the question, because I don't think she actually encountered any men in this video. Should wives obey their husbands? Yes. In regards to what Ephesians 5 and 1 Peter 3 command and lay out. Yes. A Christian wife should obey her husband. Okay. And I believe wives in general should obey their husbands. Okay. Listen, if women understood the cost of headship, they would not want to be a man. They would not want to have the responsibilities of a man. Okay. It is a blessed thing that a woman be submissive and soft and feminine and meek. That's a blessing place for a woman to be. And that's where the Lord wants his daughters. Okay. It's not God's will for women to be masculine and for men to be effeminate and soft and weak. You see how this twisted world is twisting everything. The men are the ones that are subservient to their wives. They're soft, they're weak, they're beta. And the females have become these strong, masculine, dominant leaders. That's satanic. The God of this world, Satan, has devised that. He's so crafty in the way he's caused that to happen. And it's happened. That shift has happened. It's here. It's been here for decades. And especially in the United States, it's here. Okay. I'm not one of those men. I would rather die than be that man. I'm a very dominant man. Okay. And let me clarify, because I know a lot of you are going to hear, when you hear the word dominant, you hear abusive. No, I'm not abusive at all. Okay. A man that lays his hand on a woman is a coward. He's a punk. And he deserves to have his jaw broken in 3 places. Okay. Being dominant does not mean you use physical aggression. Okay. It means I lead my home. My wife is very submissive, very feminine, speaks with a soft voice. Okay. There is peace in my home. My wife's not allowed to work. That's my ruling. My wife is not allowed to work. Okay. It is my duty as a husband to provide for my wife. I want my wife in the house, planning the meal for the day, cleaning, going out and tending to the garden. She loves her plants, right? I want my wife to be in a soft environment. She doesn't need to be dealing with the harsh realities of it. She doesn't need to be going out. That's my duty. That's my job. I'm the one that needs to be going out, figuring this out. I got to figure it out. How to put food on the table, how to keep the lights on. That's my duty. And I take that with pride and with just joy. Okay. Because I'm built for it. I'm a man. I'm built for it. She's a woman. She's built to be cared for and to be loved and to be held and to be nurtured the way a woman should be nurtured, so that she can relay that to our children. Okay. And it's amazing. And the problem with a lot of these men that are weak is they didn't have good fathers. They didn't have strong fathers. Okay. A lot of them didn't have fathers at all. And I guarantee you, if you really do the background on a lot of these men, they were raised by women. A lot of these men were raised by women. Okay. I see it in family members. I see it in men I work with. Okay. The breakdown of the family is so detrimental to not just men, but women as well. And then what ends up happening is the breakdown of that family that has affected a man and that will affect another woman will then affect the children. And then it just continues to go and go and go. So it's so important. It's so important. Christian families are so important. Because, I mean, the honest truth is that the reality of all of this is a family cannot be successful outside of Christ. Okay. If you are lost, if a husband is lost and if a wife is lost, neither of them possess the ability to live in a way that is going to be fruitful for their children and for society. It's just not going to happen. Okay. Sinners outside of Christ are wicked. It's their nature. Okay. And so this is why coming to a true understanding of who God is. And I pray for Pearl. I pray that she starts to question these things, and it leads her down a rabbit hole that leads her to the truth that is Christ and how she can have her sins forgiven. But she's on the right path and she's asking the right questions. And I salute her. I hope she continues this, because it's putting a spotlight on the reality that just because you call yourself a Christian does not mean you're a Christian. Okay. And that most of these churches that are on every corner, yeah, they're lost churches. They're just a big building with a bunch of people that are religious that are on their way to hell. That's really all it is. Right. There are a few Christians in this world, which means there are going to be few churches, true biblical churches. And so I stand for every man that is not afraid to proclaim that he is the head of his home, that wives should submit, obey their husbands as they obey the Lord. Okay. Because ultimately, this is what you have to understand. The reality is God is going to look at us, the men, in regards to how we led our families. Okay. Not so much the wives, but the husbands. The same reason he came and called for Adam when Eve was the one deceived first. Right? Adam, where were you? So we are going to be called as men. We are going to be called to account for how we led our wives and our families. And if you are beta, if you are weak, if you are effeminate, your children will suffer. Okay? Your children will suffer. That's who's going to suffer, because they're going to be looking at you. They're watching you. Okay? And they're going to emulate what they've grown to know from watching you. And so there's nothing more destructive than a beta male leading a family. Okay? So yeah, I'm going to continue watching her stuff and continue kind of giving my 2 cents.